Independent development has exploded over the past 5 years. Thanks to expansions of services like Xbox Live Arcade, PSN, and Steam, even single-man developers can build and develop amazing experiences that rival even the best $60 boxed game. One look at Mark Leung, Revenge of the Bitch, and it's easy to point out how it falls short of these new indie renaissance standards. But depending on your playstyle and humor, this rough adventure could still hold some worthwhile hours. The game is modeled after the RPGs of old, divided between exploration, NPC interaction, and turn-based battles. But no bones are made about where the majority of the effort went into this production. From the very first full-motion video cutscene, the ridiculous humor and play-for-laughs production values are both endearing and legitimately funny. Mark Leung, a humble communist ginseng farmer, is called into action after destroying a feng shui shrine that turned all non-vegetable eaters into cockroaches. The Church of Vegetology is out to control people's lives, and their sought-after dominance over Canadian exports could mean dietary fascism all over the world.
Collecting ginseng again? Come on, baby cakes, take a break.
Dude, I'm serious. Can't you leave me alone?
Did you just call me a dude?
Couldn't.
Let's take a break and spend some time together.
Come on, man. I'm busy.
You call me a dude and now you're calling me a man?
Couldn't.
Wanna make out?
No.
But you're my boyfriend!
Mark!
Absolutely nothing is taken seriously in Revenge of the Bitch, and the story takes on a vast majority of both gamer and pop culture in its own gleefully stupid way. It's a niche kind of comedy, and more than a few jokes fall completely flat, but there's an inherent likability here that many gamers will gravitate towards. If you loved the camp factor of early Command & Conquer cutscenes, and the more unrefined humor of most internet gaming shows, it's hard not to love this reference-heavy tale. It's when the actual game is taken into account that many of the faults of Revenge of the Bitch pop up. The most game-breaking is the completely wrecked audio. There are barely any audio sounds at all when traveling in the game's open environments, except for enemy cries and your weapon effects. Battle scenes aren't much better, as the game's battle anthem varies disjointly in volume. If you want it loud enough to hear clearly, be prepared for all of the other audio in the game to blow out your speakers. The audio problems don't end there, as voiceovers appear sporadically during in-game cutscenes, mixed so low it's literally inaudible 90% of the time.
So, why not come over to countering? Get served. Over 1 billion times!
What do we have here?
The lack of budget also hampers the game's initial presentation, with open environments appearing ugly and empty for the most part. You'll eventually be taken to more varied locales, but it's a terrible first impression. Controls are regulated with the WASD and arrow keys and perform well enough. The game would benefit from controller support, but it's understandable why it hasn't been implemented. Why there's no mouse support is a different story. Sadly, Revenge of the Bitch suffers from one of the genre's ancient problems. It's a grind fest. Especially after hitting a wall in the difficulty curve around hour 6, you'll be trudging along reslaying the same creatures to optimize stats. Granted, creature variety is diverse, but not enough for the 13-hour playtime. Luckily, the battle system is varied enough to give back most of the effort you put in. Each character can select from primary and secondary skill sets, fighter, healer, etc., along with passive abilities, that add benefits in battle like greater damage and status effects. While the game is $5 too expensive and 3 years too late to be considered competitive in the larger independent game revolution, there is a certain charm to Mark Leung Revenge of the Bitch. The easiest way to determine if the game is right for you is to look at Mark's early comedy on YouTube, particularly the College Saga series. The game is genuinely funny, and you'll find yourself muscling your way through to the next cutscene. There are some major blemishes on the experience that will turn many, if not most, gamers off in its current state, the worst being the traditional RPG tedium and the broken audio. Giving the demo a test drive here is mandatory. But for the niche audience that gets it, you can't find much better camp than Revenge of the Bitch.